It is 7:07. It is time for 7 Minutes of Sunshine. And today, I thought I'd share a little bit about how far we've come. I use the royal we, but how far we've come, how much things have changed in the last couple decades. I've got on the screen with me a photograph that I've been cleaning up my office downstairs and came across a book, and in that book is a photograph of the 1993 March on Washington. And in that photograph, right up front, you can see Jesse Jackson. You can see a couple other folks as well, and a couple rows back, there's me. And I'm right next to, I've got these Yoko Ono glasses on. I'm right next to Phil Donahue, of all people. Hope most of you watching probably know who Phil Donahue is. And then on the other side of Phil is my first husband, Michael Cavan, who watches this program from Vietnam. And that was a big moment for me and for LGBTQ folks. At the time, it was basically you could be thrown in jail for being gay, actually for having sex. So you could be thrown in jail for that. Can you believe that? We had zero rights. And the movement, this was the second big March on Washington. I think the first was in 1987. But thousands and thousands of folks came from all over the country and the world for this March on Washington. And it was a big moment, big moment for us. And the big message was to come out. It was to come out. That's all they kept saying. Come out, come out, come out, come out. And I was not out yet. I was there with Michael. We weren't yet married. And I was inspired that day. And I just was inspired. Every speech was be true to who you are. Come out. It's the number one thing that you can do. And so I listened. I came back from that march and I came out at work at Donato's, and I was scared to death. But I did it, and went through a lot with that and inspired other folks at Donato's to come out. It was great. And actually there were some folks at the March on Washington. Tabby Heckler was there. My friend D First. Lots of folks started coming out at Donato's. Donato's then started non-discrimination policy for LGBTQ folks because obviously that was important to me. I helped with that. My sister was fantastic. So I bring it up because yesterday we saw Pete Buttigieg basically be selected to become join the cabinet, the Biden cabinet. And Pete is only 38 years old. He was 10 when this march occurred. But it struck me, and here's a photograph of Pete when he's running for president. He was here in Columbus, and he is standing there with Twink Star, who is 97 years old and a veteran and an openly gay man here in Columbus, Ohio, a veteran of World War II, and Pete's a veteran as well. And so that I captured that moment. It was a big moment when Pete was here. I remember that. And yesterday was a moment. Yesterday, an openly gay married man was selected to the cabinet, would be sent to the Senate to be confirmed. And it just strikes you when these moments happen of how far things have come, how far they've come. And it's a real tribute to folks standing up and really facing the shame that we were taught by by society, but also by the religions that many of us grew up in. And the shame, so that we internalize, and then the shame that society had. And it was brutal, that shame. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. So to all of you who stood up during that time, especially when it was hard, to those who marched in the Stonewall Pride Parade here in Columbus 40 years ago, some with bags over their heads because they were scared, that they were going to get fired, and they would have gotten fired. To all of you, many folks, thank you, because all of us have been a part of that change by having the courage to come out. All of us, each and every one of us, and a lot of younger folks today will not know this, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a good thing that they won't know this. They won't know this, and many still are facing a lot of prejudice, and especially in smaller communities, and especially in some religious communities. But it's changing, and yesterday was a big moment. Yesterday was a big moment. Pete talking about his husband. We couldn't get married just a few years ago. Talking about his husband. Big day. I cried. Of course I did. I wanted to share that today. It was an inspirational moment. I think just taking stock of the fact that things do change. When people stand up and say it has to change, and they take risk, and we're facing that today with Black Lives Matters. Frankly, we're facing that with all kinds of things. So we got to continue to lean into that until all of us are free, all of us, and fight for each other. We got to do it. We got to keep doing it, and it just gets better. It'll get better, and we got to fight for we got to fight for economic justice, environmental justice. I think Pete's going to help do that, and he's going to do that as an openly gay married man. There you go. I scrolled the practice again. So if you want to do that, go for it. And I really appreciate you joining me today. I have an interview tomorrow. I have Santa Claus on Monday. You have to join me for Santa Claus. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And remember, even when it's really damn cloudy out, the sun is always shining, and it shines brighter when we stand up and be who we are. Have a good one.